go.
Well, good.
Ken, let's see news on Patrick
Yeah, he's okay, which is pretty good. He's got a little, which is good. He's got a high little depression up on his cheekbone, which is they're quite simple. Which is it sounds a bit cold, but it's quite a simple. They'll just flick that out, and I'd say realistically he's a more than good chance to play round one. Yeah, absolutely. I've had 2 weeks of nightmares with Paddy. Last week I see him go down late, and I'd nearly make a decision to take him off at 3/4 time from now on. But he's still got a bit to get through, and he's got to have a little procedure. So I shouldn't be as confident about round one. I should just be cautious, I think.
So it's not a depressed fashion.
Yeah. If I could take you in there and show it to you, he's got a little dint.
Okay. Was there a concussion as well?
No, he's fine. I said that to him. He said, no, I've got no problems at all. He said, I remember everything about the incident, so there wasn't a concussion, which is a good result. It's just a collision, clash of heads.
Best case round one, worst case? Is there a worst case?
Oh, no, my worst case is round one, I reckon, if you're asking me.
So he's playing round two?
Yeah, he'd be playing. Look, there's no doubt at all he'd play round two, but, as I said, there's a procedure to be done, so every time there's something like that to be done, you've got to be a little bit cautious. Yeah, it looks like he's got a slight, maybe medial, which we'll scan tomorrow and just see how that turns out. And that's probably, if it is that, it's probably 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks. So he could be in some doubt for round one. Yeah, it was really disappointing for Jake because he was playing really well. You always don't want to see any player get hurt, in particular at the start of a season. You do an ACL, it's a significant injury, but. Unfortunately, the game we play says you've got to risk your body. That's why these blokes are so brave. They go out there every time and they put themselves at risk. And he hurts himself, in a long-term injury. Which Jake is really positive around the club today, which is a good thing. But it's a pretty sad day for him and for us to have a young, promising player get hurt that badly.
What's your read of the balance between attack and defence in this game compared to the one the week before? How much more did you get right on both fronts?
Oh, I thought early it was a great game, wasn't it? If you're one of the 6,500 people that come along and seen the game, which was fantastic in itself. We had more here today than we had last year's showdown in the summer, so great to see our people starting to get on board and come back with us, and that's great. But it was an attacking game early, both sides. It was a bit of centre bounce stuff that was going on, and I think after quarter time, up until that last bit, we were really pleased with our defensive side of our game as well as our offensive side of the game. Because I think we only conceded a couple of goals for that couple of quarter period.
What do you think you did better defensively, and particularly the way you let the game roll on to you this time?
Yeah, we were able to cut off some balls that were important. We were able to win enough balls. We still, we've got some real pressure at the ball, which has been really important to our defence over the journey, and we're probably trying to ramp that up a little bit more if we can. So we're quite pleased with where it's going. Would you pick him? Would you pick him?
Still not make the decision, Ken. Would you pick him?
Yeah, I'd pick him. I shouldn't say that, shouldn't I? No, that's not fair because if Zach's getting a game, we should make some more information out of that and make sure as a club we get excited by what he is. But also, if I was to take you down a path of Dersma and Rosie as well, and Lysett and Burton today, I think we've seen some really promising stuff amongst a whole group of players. And there might be 5, there might be 6 that are first game players for Port Adelaide come round one at the G, and that'll be exciting.
The return to very good form of 2 veterans, when we talk about the young veterans of by comparison, Oak and Rockcliffe, simply because they're just in better nick.
Rockcliffe's a serious player, isn't he? When you see that today and you go 45 touches. He's the first to say that last season was pretty tough for him. It was pretty interrupted all the way through. We hope that Rock can deliver that throughout the season consistently. His history would suggest he can, and Trav the same. Trav's been in good form. If you even look at the back end of last year, he was one of the blokes who was still going quite strong at the back end of last year. So, and we didn't have many of them doing that. So, Trav's just built on his pre-season. He's, as we've said before, with his decision, he's quite free. He's enjoying everything. It looks like a good decision so far for Travis personally, and hopefully he gets to still be a part of a really successful team.
He gave him a really challenging role last year, that half-forward role that no one seems to want to play.
And if you look at the numbers of what he was like in that role, people will get surprised how high up in the AFL he was. His numbers were really flattering. So, but he's also playing a lot more midfield. But we're making an effort to put more people through our midfield, and Trav's just one of those people, not the only one. So,
Is that round one team pretty much, sort of almost concrete in your head now, Ken, after today, or is there still a couple of question marks that you have?
Oh, no, I think the boys who are out there today get first look at it, don't they? And I mean, obviously with Jared, if he misses, we probably bring in a defender, and you know, most of the team will be certainly what was out there today, I would imagine, and we'll just make sure that we haven't got any surprise inclusions. Ollie's moving really well at the moment.
Does Dougal Howard sort of come back in, obviously with Jared's injury, and how do you, I suppose, handle that after, you know, he was obviously dropped for today's game and played last night?
That's pretty simple. His form last night was pretty strong, so that's good. So if Jared's unfortunately missing out, you know, we've got a couple of players that we will consider in that space, and Dougal would certainly be one of those players that we would consider.
This big picture can away from personnel and seeing changes in the game style, and it's only a small.
Yeah, it's been a really long time since we kicked a score like that. I think that's really positive. You know, even last week when we only had 40 entries, we still kicked 90 points. That's an exciting Port Adelaide, isn't it? That's the Port Adelaide that we like to see. It's the Port Adelaide that I love being involved with, and it's not always going to be like that. It's not always going to be as free flowing as today's game was, but it will be. It won't be from us not wanting to take the game on. I can guarantee you that.
Coaches, do you feel you want to play more to win the centre bounce now and win out of the centre square rather than setting up guys, you know, on a defensive side on the wing?
It was 12 goals from centre bounce today.
Yeah, but do coaches actually feel they'd rather take the gamble than back in?
Yeah, well, I certainly do. I certainly like the idea of getting the ball in our front half first, and you know, there's some risk in that. And as we've shown today, early in the first quarter, we probably gave up too much risk. But you know, I'm not going to stop the boys from attacking the game. I won't do that. You know, we've got good forwards in front of the ball. I know the opposition have got them as well, but I'm just going to back our blokes.
So even when you get that 5-goal run on, you're still thinking you want it back in to win centre bounce and get quick clearance rather than push the wingman into defensive spots?
Well, it's a hard one depends what the game's doing, I suppose, Rich, if I can just use a little bit more breathing space. Yes, we'd like to attack the game. There's some responsibility from us as coaches to make sure that we're giving ourselves a chance to win first and foremost.
Good work. Thanks.
Good work.
Thank you.